Have you ever stood on a patch of ground and wondered what lies beneath your feet? It feels solid, stable, right, but deep down, our planet is anything but calm. It's a world of intense heat and crushing pressure, a place where rock itself melts and churns. This is the story of that hidden world, the story of how a seemingly peaceful mountain can transform into a roaring giant. This is the story of a volcano. Our journey begins miles below the surface, in a place we can never see directly, the magma chamber. Imagine a vast, cavernous space, a subterranean cauldron where the Earth's internal furnace is at its most ferocious. Here, the temperature is so extreme that solid rock gives up its form and liquefies into a thick, glowing substance we call magma. But it's not just molten rock. Trapped within this viscous soup are immense quantities of dissolved gases, things like water vapor, carbon dioxide, and sulfur dioxide. Think of it like a bottle of soda. When the cap is on, you can't see the fizz inside, but you know it's there, held in solution by the pressure. The magma chamber is just like that, but on a planetary scale. The immense weight of the rock above keeps these gases locked inside the molten rock. For thousands, even millions of years, this chamber can sit there, slowly filling up, a sleeping giant accumulating power. More rock melts, more gas dissolves, and the pressure begins to build. It's a slow, silent, and incredibly powerful process. The chamber swells, pushing against the surrounding crust, waiting for a moment of weakness, and eventually, that moment comes. The pressure becomes too great for the chamber to contain. It needs a way out. The magma, now lighter than the solid rock around it, begins its epic journey upward. It seeks out weaknesses in the Earth's crust, fractures, faults, any little crack it can exploit. This is the ascent. As the magma rises, something incredible happens. The pressure from the overlying rock decreases. Remember our soda bottle. This is the moment you start twisting the cap. As the pressure drops, the dissolved gases can no longer stay hidden within the magma. They begin to come out of solution, forming tiny bubbles. At first, there are just a few, but as the magma continues its climb, more and more bubbles form and expand. It's a runaway process. These expanding gas bubbles are the engine of the eruption. They make the magma even less dense, accelerating its upward rush. What started as a slow ooze becomes a frantic surge, a desperate race to the surface. The magma is no longer a passive liquid, it's a frothing, supercharged foam, forcing its way up through the volcanic plumbing system, a network of conduits and pipes. The ground above begins to tremble. Small earthquakes, known as tremors, signal the movement of the magma below. The surface may bulge, steam might vent from small cracks. The mountain is breathing, preparing for the final, dramatic release. Then, the climax, the cap is off the bottle. The rising magma, choked with expanding gas, finally bursts through the surface. This is the eruption. The sheer violence of this moment is difficult to comprehend. The pent-up pressure is released in a cataclysmic explosion. A towering column of ash, gas, and pulverized rock is blasted miles into the atmosphere, creating a dark, churning cloud that can block out the sun. This isn't just smoke, it's tiny shards of volcanic glass and rock, carried skyward by the force of the blast. What happens next depends on the type of magma. If the magma is thick and sticky, rich in gas, the eruption is explosive. It creates pyroclastic flows, superheated, fast-moving avalanches of ash, rock, and gas that can incinerate everything in their path. It throws out volcanic bombs, large chunks of molten rock that fly through the air. If the magma is more fluid and less gassy, the eruption can be gentler, though no less awe-inspiring. Instead of a violent explosion, fountains of lava might shoot into the air, feeding long, slow-moving rivers of molten rock. These lava flows, glowing red and orange, creep across the landscape, burying everything they touch under a new layer of stone. The sounds are deafening, a continuous, deafening roar, the sound of a planet remaking itself. Steam, ash, and lightning crackle within the eruption cloud. It's a primal scene of unimaginable power. As the eruption wanes and the ash settles, we're left to survey the aftermath. The destructive power is obvious. Forests are flattened, towns can be buried, and landscapes are forever altered. But in this destruction, there is also creation. The lava cools and solidifies, forming new rock, new ground. Volcanic islands, like Hawaii and Iceland, are built entirely from countless eruptions over millions of years. The ash that seems so destructive breaks down over time, creating some of the most fertile soils on Earth, perfect for agriculture. Volcanoes are a profound reminder that our planet is not a static, finished object. It is alive, dynamic, and constantly changing. They are the architects of our world, shaping continents and forging islands. They are a window into the fiery heart of our planet, a spectacular and terrifying display of nature's raw power. They are both destroyers and creators, a fundamental force that has shaped life on Earth since its very beginning. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the heart of a volcano. If you found this as fascinating as I do, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wonders of our world. See you in the next one.